This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Does a modest proposal appeal to character, emotion, and reason? In A Modest Proposal, Jonathan Swift satirically addresses the deplorable living conditions that the people of Ireland experienced during the 18th century. With this well-written satire, Swift employs an argumentative style, character, detached tone, and emotion to create and implement the shocking revelation. Swift stirs emotions in this proposal, but the idea is communicated systematically and opposes moral and emotional methods. Swift strikes the reader's emotions in the very first paragraph of the proposal. The description of the women and children in rags is real but, at the same time, compassionate. To emphasize emotions, Swift states that these mothers, instead of being able to work for their honest livelihoods, are forced to employ all their time in strolling to beg sustenance for their helpless infants who, as they grow up, either turn thieves for want of work, or leave their dear native country, to fight for the Pretender in Spain, or sell themselves to Barbados. The pathos, ethos, and logos in this proposal show that the author does appeal to reason, character, and emotions. The author's appeal to reason is seen in the itemized list, whereby papists are plenty. The proposal contains ethical and logical arguments that elicit the reader's emotions, especially on the suggestion that whoever has a cheap solution to the dilemma in Ireland should have a statue put up on their own. Concerning Swift's description of the young lads and maidens, he focuses on the character and ethics of the society. Does Swift come across to readers as a credible, authoritative author? Why or why not? Despite the satirical nature of A Modest Proposal, is Swift trustworthy as an author? Jonathan Swift was an Augustan author, and the Augustans were known for their belief in the power of reason. The authors who existed during the Augustan era wrote about society and its evils. They were not afraid of satirizing the influential people of the society, and their work served as a moral voice. For this reason, Swift comes across as a credible but not an authoritative author. Instead of writing serious pieces to espouse his beliefs, Swift chooses to use satire to communicate the deplorable conditions in Ireland. All the same, his use of satire is well calculated because this way, he can get the public's attention. A Modest Proposal brings Swift across as a trustworthy author who can communicate important societal issues through the use of satire. Swift speaks about sensitive subjects, therefore, using satire rather than directly challenging the authority is much safer. Does Swift's manipulation weaken his argument? Why or why not? What are Swift's proposed advantages? Swift does conduct some math to establish the number of miscarriages, deaths, and the number of children born in a year. Swift has grave reasons to suggest the selling of children to the rich. His manipulation of data regarding the children to be consumed each year does not weaken his argument. This is because his solution is economic. Paying the mothers for their children would be advantageous to them, for they would solve the food shortage. According to Swift, the advantages of selling children for consumption would be many. These would include the children being more appreciated and being kept in good condition. Abortions would be reduced since they would want financial compensation. At the same time, thieves would be a thing of the past, for the children would be useful to the rich. Does Swift claim fact, value, and/or policy? If so, identify these moments in the essay. In A Modest Proposal, Swift claims fact and value. His suggested policy on children also makes a claim. Through the use of satire, Swift puts across the facts about the bad living conditions during the time. This is valuable because it calls for remodeling and for the rich to change their ways. The fact is that the poor are in a downward cycle, but instead of the rich helping to solve their problems, they criticize them. Did you like this Rhetoric in A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift sample? To get more works like this one, Make sure to check out the database of academic paper examples at ivypanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs.